Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion. This is episode 16. Now we are into season 2. I'm your host, Aarti Bagi Gill. I am CBSE resource person and SDG for AIEF Global Ambassador. Every time we bring a topic which is based on research based surveys. So let's see what we have today with us. Let's unite together to support SDGs. I have one data in front of you. As per World Bank reports, India's poverty reduction success is there, lifting 171 million from extreme poverty with a 5.3 rate in 2022 and 23. Today we have respected speakers with us. Ms. Suruchi Sharma, AIF Master Trainer, Ms. Pushpalata Thakur Chaudhary, AIF Resource Person. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all of us. Let's encourage the youth about SDGs. Today's topic of discussion is impact of SDG 1 on learning index of students in educational institutions. It means today we are talking about SDG 1, that is no poverty, and of course SDG 4, quality education, hand in hand. We will be talking in parallel to both the SDGs. Let's start with economical condition versus child education. And for this, I want to invite Miss Pushpalata for this. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for having me in this session. And I'll be very glad to talk about the topic. And I would like to begin with a quote from Nelson Mandela. He said that, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is also not natural. It is man made and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. And sometimes it falls in the hands of the complete generations to make a great change. So we talk about SDG 1. Here we can see that SDG 1 has a direct and crucial impact in our lives. And SDG 1 aims to eradicate poverty in all its forms. It is essential for improving learning outcomes and ensuring that all children can reach their full potential. So our main idea here is no poverty is amalgamating it with goal 4. It aims to ensure universal access to quality education. And goal 4 amalgamating with no poverty, it says that it aims that all children should complete their free education, their quality primary, secondary education, leading to a relevant and effective learning outcome. So it is very important. But what I really want to show here is that we all need to understand that achieving SDG is not a very small thing. They are both the cause. Poverty is both the cause and effect of education, and education both the cause and effect of poverty. They both are interrelated, and we can see it in the first photograph, which you can see here, which says poverty and lack of education forms a vicious cycle. And this is what we need to understand, that poverty is like a trap. And the only way of getting out of this trap for millions of children is through education. So before I begin, I would like to say that our SDGs are universal. They apply to north, south, rich, poor, developed and underdeveloped all, and they are integrated. And we have to understand the dimensions of sustainability which we have to work on. We have to work upon the social conditions, the economic conditions, and the environmental conditions which we are trying to make changes in. So all of these conditions come under our SDGs, and this is what we have to uplift, and that is how we have to overcome this poverty trap. So let me talk about this poverty trap, that there are, millions of children, as we talk, who are not able to get literate. And these people can be lifted out of poverty only through education. And the education trap forms a vicious poverty cycle. As you can see, that when people are poor, they lack education. And what happens is, then when they lack education, when they are poor, they cannot access, they don't have good access to good schools, they don't have access to all the situations in which they can reach schools, and people are unable to get good quality education. Now, because of the lack of quality education, they have lack of opportunities in life because they don't have proper skills, etc. So when they don't have these skills, they do not get good jobs, and when they do not get good jobs, they have low income, and this low income it further leads to their poor living conditions, poor nutrition, poor health, and all this again leads to the lack of education. So this is how this poverty trap is formed. And we need to have millions of children who are out of schools, as you can see in the pictures below, that there are millions of children who are out of schools. They lack primary education, and once they lack this, they are pushed on because of the family situations. All these children are pushed on to some minor work which they need to put, and they are sent to places which are more often hazardous for their health. And let me tell you that there are millions of children who are our workforce, who form a workforce, and they are also working in conditions and places which are not very beneficial for their health and also for our society as a whole. And what happens when we get an access to education is, when poverty prevents children from attending school due to the financial constraints, because they don't have fee, they don't have uniforms, then they don't have the necessary materials to study, books, etc. But when they do, they have these things. When they benefit from education, when they do get into institutes, etc., they learn, they get they have opportunities, and due to these opportunity they learn, they get skills. Because of these skills they grow, and when they grow, what happens? The child health and nutrition becomes better, learning condition becomes better, our infrastructure, our lack of resources can be overcome with this. And what happens is their learning time increases, their working time decreases, and with this increase in opportunities in education, the skill becomes higher, they get better jobs, their income becomes higher, and they are able to have proper working conditions, health conditions, and overall the society becomes better. And we move on to our goal number 1, which says no poverty. This is what we are trying to achieve as a whole. Give children proper resources so that they have access to education, access to resources, access to opportunities, and so that their living conditions become better. And we have higher skilled employment and opportunities for these children, and such jobs would create better living conditions and a better society as a whole. So what I want to say is, it's not only the poverty is not only due to money and economic conditions, it is also, as we see today, due to some war and natural disasters. This also increases the number of people who are living under the poverty line. So as of today, we have decided that $1.90 is the $1.90 is the a person living below that line is belongs to the poverty line. uh, but we have to make sure that we have people who can uplift themselves from this. When we see the data in front of you, then you can see that there is right now, if we compare from 1990, and also from the time we have started talking about SDGs, it has increased. Our poverty has gone down and gone down, and we have overcome. We have literacy has reached 91% as of now, and what you can see as people. 73% people, adults are able to uh, get educated. 33, we have moved from our literacy rates have totally moved on. And when you see that our poverty I hope you can see the last. I want you all to move on to the last. When we say when we have inclusive education, we have equitable education for all. We are trying to promote lifelong learners. So we are 73% adults are able to be, we are able to teach them and make them literate. 68% increase in rural areas where we are able to reach, and our education facilities have increased for children out there. Even disabled people, we as our education is becoming more and more inclusive, 54% increase in people who are children who are disabled have been able to get educated. Then we move on from children of special needs. 34% children from the special needs have been put on for educational purposes, have been taught to read and write, and have become more skilled in areas. And 100 we have reached 100% enrollment in primary areas, and in higher education it has reached from 23.2%, which is quite a good aim. This is really leading us to achieve this SDG 2030. We are actually hoping to reach there, though it is a very, very difficult task for a place like India, where we have 264 million children who are out of school. But we are trying to put them, and putting 100% children in the primary education is a very, very big step for India to move forward. And for we can also see that 24% is our gross enrollment rate, and we have also been able to have 100% parity, where our number of girls and number of boys reaching the school is almost the same, and which is a very big accomplishment for India. So we can say that SDG 1 will end. We are thinking about ending poverty with our move with the SDG 1, which is one of the most important SDG. And with time, we have really been able to go bring the poverty rates lower. And when we see that the poverty rate is higher in the developing nation and lower in the developed nation, and but it affects all. It affects children, it affects men, women, and everybody all over the world, and it also ends up affecting our economy. In the later slides, I will be talking about how much we have achieved, and the statistical data more on what it is. But here I just wanted to speak about poverty and how it makes a trap, that education is the only thing which can lead us out of this poor economic condition for our society and our downtrodden. And I think our students, our children are the ones who can bring us out of the situation, and we really need to move forward and build a nation, great nation with education for them, and give them more opportunities in life. Thank you so much.
Perfectly said, ma'am. It's a complete vicious circle. And when I look at this number, 92 and 94%, the brightest end of this slide is this only when you are looking for reduced inequalities as one of the SDGs. So I really appreciate that the goal number one, which is the prime requisite for any country to be a developed nation, and we are incorporating, or you can say integrating with our quality education, because that is the key to come out from that trap. And when we see the numbers are quite convincing, 92% and 94%. So again, you are solving one of the SDG, that is reduced inequality. So that's a perfect one. And I want to move ahead quickly for the strategies, because eventually we are looking for strategies in schools, in educational institutions. It can be any educational organization, right from the bottom till top. So we'll be looking for some strategies that how this SDG 1 can be overcome by this SDG 4. So now I'm going to invite our next speaker for this. Ma'am Suruchi, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Aarti ma'am, for the opportunity. I completely agree with Pushplata ma'am that the millions of children are out of school, and according to stats, if I say 24-25 academic year, 1.17 million of children are out of school. And this percentage is although reduced at the elementary level, but when we see the secondary level, the percentage is very high, because people still believe that number of children, if they have and they are working, that will increase their per capita income. So with that thought process, they don't allow the students to go to school. Although educational institutions are trying hard to raise awareness, to make them aware about the importance of their education, how they are going to contribute to the economic growth of the country. But still, the teachers can also motivate the students by certain activities which they can perform in the class itself. Because if I am teaching a student with uh, different background, different socioeconomic background, I need to ensure that I adopt to their mother tongue. That is very, very important. I cannot be speaking in English all the time. I need to indulge in their life somehow, virtually. Because if I am adopting to uh, introducing some topic or something which they cannot relate to directly, I need to adopt to some method which they can relate to. So for this, the activity-based learning are also very important, because if the things are very monotonous, we adopt to the only traditional method of teaching, that is not going to help those children. We need to have hands-on experiments which they can perform at home also, not using such aids which are very, very expensive, but small experiments or small activities which they can perform in the class or at home. We can adopt the methods of storytelling or role play, which will contribute to peer collaboration. The group activities will help them to indulge with or mingle with the people of different background. For this, we can also pay home visits. Government school teachers do go to the areas where we find such children who are very reluctant to go to schools, or the parents are not really interested to send them to school. They are working rag pickers, and at times they are, as ma'am already mentioned, they're working in hazardous condition. They are working for crackers factories or matchstick factory or incense uh, making factories or candle making, such tasks they adopt to, just to earn a very meager amount of money, which can help them sustain in life. But if we pay a visit, if the teachers are going to their places, there are many teachers, there are educators who are visiting such places and making the people aware, making them know what is the importance of education. And they also invite the parents, if the children are already coming to school, not regularly, but they are coming, they are admitted to school. So the parents are invited to school so that they can participate, they can mingle with other parents, and such meetings, of course, raise awareness. Of course, the parents are going to motivate the students, and this is a collaborative way of raising the standard. Now, this there is a very important thing, but because we are uh, integrating SDG 1 with SDG 4, so SDG 1 is also integrated with no hunger, because people, if they are the children are, if they are working, they are utilized as child labor, they are prone to child labor. So it's very important that we take care of their meals, because that is a very important, the basic necessity for which they are working. So that midday meal programs, in collaboration with different NGOs and different global institutions, can help the raise the standard of education in different schools. Apart from midday meals, we know that at times the students are coming to school, but after school they have to go to work. So if we allow some playtime, some rest to those children, so they actually feel comfortable and they are able to grow in a very healthy environment that is able to help them to grow. And at times, it is very important that we provide them time to time counseling, because they are already suffering from a lot of stress. The stress can be from the side of parents or from the surrounding, from the peer group. So, as a whole, it's very important that I raise awareness as educator. We raise awareness about this dire need of the hour. So, with this, I will inculcate. Although there are several other points which I would like to speak on in some time.
I'm so sorry. So, I personally agree with this mother tongue based instruction, that is, in terms of multilingualism as per CBSE, even. So, it is more into auditory listening. Yes, of course, we are changing our classrooms. We are going for bilingual mode. Even we are looking for the regional language, and we are making the children comfortable. And we have a lot of strategies to put focus on this thing, which is a type of instruction only, and it is coming into play on a very upfront front. For example, if you have children with various, or you can say, you have diverse learners from various economical backgrounds. So the idea is, if you are delivering something, it should be accessible to every child. So eventually, when you are making the children learn something in your classroom as per your lesson plan, as per your pedagogy, then it should be completely learning outcome based for every child. This I am talking right from the bottom till top for all the educational institution, because this is a gap which we face on every level. Trust me, teachers, all those who are watching this right now, it is a gap which leads to uh, distraction, which leads to lack of confidence, which leads to going away from that learning system, which sometimes leads to non-interest. So the idea is that the mother tongue is the tongue of instruction in most of the countries, even. But we in our country is looking forward for a parallel learning with English learning system, which is of course a right way. But the idea is for those who are the ones who need your help or who need a scaffold. So in that case, this multilingualism will work. Parental community, of course, very, very important. We are talking about collaboration with the parents. Too much collaboration is required even with the parents, because they need time to time counseling. They sometime in need of money, keep the children away, after some time getting a framework of education. Sometime after schooling, even they are not going for higher education, or they are not going for that up step of the education, because they feel that they are this much educated that now they can go into the field of earning. So this is for everyone to understand that what is the right way and how you should frame. At the last of this part, we are going to support this I Unite to Act. This is Act for SDGs under UN Action. You will get the click. You will get the link in the description box. You have to click the link and you have to support the campaign. It's completely an optional one, but still, if you feel, you can support.